Nurse Jet, Nursing the Truth. I hope everyone's having a great day. So go check out my video that I did earlier called Sodom and Gomorrah, Real or Not Real. So I guess this is going to be part two. I was talking about the biblical tale and where that came from. And I told you guys where it was from. Now, through Sodom and Gomorrah, um, the real deal is it is the war of the gods. Yes, the Anunnaki, friends. It was the real deal. And this, the Sumerian people wrote on clay tablets about the lamentation of the destruction of Ur or Uruk. So, when you look at Abraham from the Ur of Chaldees, that's Babylon, or Uruk of Mesopotamia, okay? Now, this Sumerian civilization dwindled approximately 3,500 years ago and replaced by peoples of the north and east. And it was usually a replacement due to people having wars. There are several lamenting texts that have been found, and each mourning the destruction of a different Sumerian city. Now, when Enki came here, the first city that was constructed was Eridu. So you had Eridu, Nippur, Shapok, Nippur, and Iraq, I believe. So anyway, this is what it says about the lamentation of Ur or Uruk. The goddess of Ur, Ningal, tells how she suffered under the sense of coming doom. When I was grieving for that day of storm, the day of storm destined for me, laid upon me heavy with tears on me, the queen. Though I was trembling of that day of the day of the storm destined for me, I could not flee before that day's fatality. And of a sudden, I had no happy days within my reign, and no happy days within my reign. Though I would tremble for that night, the night of cruel weeping destined for me, I could not flee before the night's fatality. Dread of the storm's flood-like destruction weighed on me, and a sudden on my couch at night, no dreams were granted to me. And of a sudden on my couch upon my couch oblivion was not granted, because this bitter anguish had been destined for my land, and the cow to the calf. Even had I come to help it on the ground, I could not have pulled my people back out of the mire. Because this bitter dolor had been destined for my city, even if I, bird-like, had stretched my wings and like a bird flown to my city, yet my city would have been destroyed to its foundation, yet Ur would have perished where it lay. Because that day of storm had raised its hand, and even had I screamed out loud and cried, "Turn back, O day of storm, to thy desert," the breast of that storm would not have been lifted from me. Then verily to the assembly where the crowd had not yet risen, while the Anunnaki, binding themselves to uphold the decision, were still seated, I dragged my feet and I stretched out my arms. Truly I shed my tears in front of On. Truly I myself mourn in front of Enlil. May my city not be destroyed, I said indeed to them. May Ur not be destroyed, I said to them. And may its people not be killed. But On never bent towards these words, and Enlil never with On. It is pleasing, so be it, did soothe my heart. Behold, they gave instruction that the city be destroyed, and behold, they gave instruction that Ur be destroyed, and as its destiny decreed that its inhabitants be killed. Enlil called the storm, the people mourned. Winds of abundance he took from the land, the people mourn. The winds he took away from Sumer, the people mourn. Deputed evil winds, the people mourned. Entrusted them to King Galuda, tender of storms. He called the storm that annihilates the land. The people mourn. He called disastrous winds. The people mourn. Enlil, choosing Gibel as his helper, called the great hurricanes of heaven, and the people mourn. The binding hurricane howling across the skies. The tempest unsubdued like breaks through levees, beats down upon, devours the city's ships. All these he gathered at the base of heaven. Great fires he lit that herald the storm. The people mourned and lit on either flank of furious winds, the searing heat of the desert like flaming heat of noon. The fire scorched. The storm ordered by Enlil in hate, the storm which wears away the country, covered like a cloth, veiled it like a linen sheet. On that day did the storm leave the city. That city was a ruin. O Father Nana, the town that left a ruin, the people mourn. On that day did the storm leave the country. The people mourn. Its people corpses, not potsherds, littered the approaches. The walls were gaping, the high gates, the roads were piled on the dead. In the wide streets where fasting crowds once gathered, jumbled they lay. In all the streets and roadways bodies lay. In open fields that used to fill with dancers, the people lay in heaps. The country's blood now filled its holes like metal in a mold. Bodies dissolved like butter in the sun. Nanar, god of the moon and spouse of Ningal, appeals to his father Enlil. O my father who engendered me, what has my city done to you? Why have you turned away from it? O Enlil, what has my city done to you? The ship of first fruits no longer brings first fruits to the engendering father, no longer goes in to Enlil in Nippur with your bread and your food portions. O my father who engendered me, fold again into your arms my city from its loneliness. O Enlil, fold again my into your arms for its loneliness. Fold again my temple, Erishnagal, into your arms from its loneliness. Let renown emerge for you in Ur. Let the people expand for you. Let the ways of Sumer, which have been destroyed, be restored for you. Enlil, answering his son, suing, say, the heart of the wasted city is weeping, reeds of lament grows therein. Its heart is weeping. Its people spend the day in weeping. O noble Nana, be thou concerned about yourself. What truck have you with tears? There is no revoking a verdict, a decree of the assembly. A command of On and Enlil is not known ever to have been changed. Was verily granted a kingship, a lasting term. It was not granted. From days of yore when the country was first settled to where it has now proceeded, whoever saw a term of office completed? Its kingship, its term of office has been uprooted. It must worry. You, my Nana, do not worry. Leave your city. Wow. So now you have a situation to where On and Enlil, On is Enlil's father. Whether these stories are real or not real, excuse me, Or is this a metaphor of something? I tend to believe that things that were written in the very beginning of time, I don't really necessarily think that they're going to be writing without visualizing or seeing something. Something must have happened. Something must have come from some other place. I do not believe that we, humanity, are the only living, intelligent creatures, as you may want to say, in the whole entire universe. There are other planets, there are other universes within a vast array, and I don't believe that we are the only ones. So, anyway, I hope you have liked this second video on Sodom and Gomorrah and the limitations of So, I'm about to do video number 3. And as always, Hotep and Ashe. And we'll see you soon, guys. Have a great day.